The first time I saw my new neighbor, I assumed she was human. That was my mistake. On Nova Station 7, humanity's far-flung orbital colony circling a dim red star, strange was ordinary. The station housed 12 species, 3 artificial intelligence councils, and 1 experimental gravity district that made newcomers vomit for a week. Compared to that, a quiet neighbor in the modular living ring was nothing remarkable. Her name, at least the one listed on the housing registry, was Sarah Valkai. No species noted. No biometric classification. Just a blank field marked Special Diplomatic Status. That alone should have warned me. But I was a cargo engineer, not a diplomat. My world revolved around freight manifests, hull integrity reports, and late-night synth coffee. I didn't question odd registry entries. On Nova Station, paperwork was stranger than reality. She moved in 3 weeks after me. I saw her only once in daylight, if the artificial light cycle could be called that. She walked down the corridor with a smooth, gliding grace, tall and slender, silver-white hair flowing to her shoulders. Her skin had a faint pearlescent sheen, like moonlight on ice. Not reflective enough to be metallic. Not matte enough to be human. But plenty of species had cosmetic adaptations. I nodded politely. She returned a small, precise smile. Then she disappeared into her unit. For weeks, nothing happened. No noise. No deliveries. No visitors. Just silence from the unit beside mine. Until the knock. It came during night cycle, 2:17 station time. I was half asleep, sprawled on my couch, a data pad sliding off my chest. The knock sounded again. 3 slow, deliberate taps on my door. I checked the corridor feed. Outside my door stood Sarah Valkai. She wasn't wearing station attire. Instead, she wore a long, flowing garment that shimmered like liquid starlight. Her eyes glowed faintly, no visible pupils, just pools of soft, shifting violet. That was when I knew. She wasn't human. I hesitated only a moment before opening the door. On Nova Station, curiosity beat fear 9 times out of 10. She inclined her head. "Apologies for disturbing your rest, neighbor," she said. Her voice was melodic but precise, each syllable weighed carefully. "I require your assistance." I rubbed sleep from my eyes. Sure. With what?" She looked past me into my small apartment. "May I enter?" I stepped aside. "Yeah. Come in." She moved without sound, gliding more than walking. The air felt cooler where she passed, like a shadow crossing sunlight. Once inside, she turned to face me. "I am not what I appear to be," she said. I blinked. I guessed that part. Her lips curved faintly. "You are unusually calm." "I live on a station where a sentient cloud negotiates trade tariffs," I replied. "You're not even in the top 10 weirdest things I've seen." Her glow-eyed gaze softened, as if amused. "Very well. I will speak plainly. My name is Sarah Valkai, but that is a simplified designation. I am of the Luminari." I had heard the name. Everyone had. The Luminari were whispered about in diplomatic circles, an ancient species said to travel between galaxies without ships. Some claimed they were energy beings. Others called them myths. "You're one of those Luminari?" I asked. "Yes." I exhaled slowly. "Okay. That's new." She folded her hands in front of her. "I am here in hiding. My presence on this station is unauthorized. If discovered, certain factions will attempt to seize or destroy me." "Well," I said, that escalated fast. She did not smile this time. "I need your help." I leaned against the counter. "What kind of help?" Her eyes brightened slightly. "I need to borrow your body." Silence filled the apartment. I stared. "Excuse me?" She lifted a hand gently, as if calming an animal. Not in the manner your species associates with mating or harm. I mean temporary neural integration. A joining. My physical form is failing. Failing how? She looked down at her shimmering hands. I am sustaining a projection. This body is not my true form. It requires constant energy to remain stable in material space. I have been injured, hunted. My strength diminishes. I didn't like where this was going. And you want to move into my brain? Temporarily. To recover. To hide. Your species' neurology is surprisingly compatible with ours. We discovered this recently. I laughed nervously. You discovered that recently? Yes. That's not comforting. Her expression grew earnest. I would not ask if there were another way. If I remain in this form, I will collapse within 2 cycles. If discovered, your station will become a battlefield. My mouth went dry. I had no desire to become host to an alien light being. But I also didn't want Nova Station turned into a war zone. I liked my job. I liked my couch. I liked existing. So what happens to me? I asked. You remain conscious, she said. You will share space with me. I will not control you. Only observe. Rest. Heal. Then depart. And if something goes wrong, then we both perish. I stared at her. You really know how to sell a deal. She bowed her head. I apologize. I have little experience with persuasion. I walked to the window and looked out at the station's curved interior skyline. Neon signs in alien scripts. Floating maintenance drones. The vast glass dome showing a sliver of crimson star beyond. If she was telling the truth, refusing could doom thousands. If she was lying, well, I'd still probably end up in trouble. I turned back. Okay, I said. If we're doing this, we set rules. Her eyes brightened. Agreed. No controlling my body. No wiping my memories. No permanent changes. And if I say stop, you stop. She placed a hand over her heart. By the light of origin, I swear. That sounded official enough. I sat on the couch. So, how does this work? She stepped closer. The air around her hummed softly, like distant chimes. Relax, she said. Open your mind to me. That's not something humans do easily. I will guide you. Her glowing eyes met mine. Light spilled outward. Not blinding, warm, gentle, like sunrise behind closed eyelids. I felt something brush against my thoughts. Not invading. Asking. May I enter? The voice was inside my head. I swallowed. Okay, I thought. The light flowed in. For a moment, I felt weightless. My heartbeat echoed like distant drums. Colors I'd never seen drifted behind my eyes. My sense of self stretched, as if making room for another presence. Then, silence. I opened my eyes. The apartment looked normal again. Sarah's physical form was gone. No shimmer. No glow. Just empty space. But I was not alone. Thank you, the voice said inside my mind. I jumped. So, you're in here now? Yes. I will remain quiet while I rest. That's unsettling. I apologize. Over the next days, I adjusted to my invisible guest. She never controlled my actions. Never pushed. Just watched. Occasionally, I'd feel her curiosity like a soft breeze through my thoughts as I worked, ate, slept. And slowly, something strange happened. I began seeing faint glimmers around certain people. Lines of emotion. Flickers of intent. Auras, almost. One night, while repairing a cargo lift, I suddenly knew which conduit would fail before it sparked. I fixed it seconds before disaster. Another day, I sensed a station security patrol rounding a corner before I saw them. Sarah was sharing her perception with me. You're upgrading my brain, I muttered. Merely overlapping senses, she replied. I should have been thrilled. Instead, I was afraid, because if I could see what she saw, others might notice I was changing, and someone was looking for her. It started with whispers, station gossip about light anomalies, unregistered energy readings, security lockdown drills. One night, alarms blared across Nova Station. Unauthorized vessel docking, boarding parties, hunting parties. Sarah's voice sharpened inside my head. They have found me. Can you leave? I asked. Not yet. I am not strong enough. Corridor boots thundered outside. Voices barked orders. Door scanners beeped. I stood frozen. Do not open the door, she warned. I backed away slowly. A heavy knock rattled the door. Station security. A voice called. Open immediately. I swallowed. If they discovered Sarah, they'd tear through my mind to get her. I felt her presence coil, gathering strength. Trust me, she said. Light flared inside my thoughts. The world bent. The room dissolved into white. When vision returned, I was standing, not in my apartment, but in a vast ocean of stars. Infinite, silent, beautiful. Sarah stood before me in her true form, not humanoid. A being of radiant, flowing light, with wings of starlight and a core like a miniature sun. I am sorry, she said. I could not leave without revealing myself to you. I stared in awe. So, this is what you are. Yes. Are we dead? No. This is a mind space, a sanctuary between thoughts. I exhaled. That's a relief. Her light pulsed softly. I have regained enough strength. I must leave before they breach your mind. Will I survive this? You will awaken, alone, and they will find nothing. I hesitated. You're really just going to go? I owe you my life, she said. And your species has earned a friend among the Luminari. That's good to hear. She lowered her luminous head. Farewell, neighbor. Light exploded outward. I woke on my couch, drenched in sweat. The apartment was silent. No alarms. No knocking. Just normal station hum. Days passed. The station reported that the intruding hunters had vanished without trace. No one spoke of anomalies again. Sarah's apartment next door was empty when I checked. No sign she had ever lived there. But sometimes, at night cycle, when the corridor lights dimmed and the station grew quiet, I'd feel a gentle warmth in my chest. A whisper of starlight. Thank you. And I knew my life had changed forever. Because somewhere beyond galaxies, a being of living light remembered the human who opened his door at night and said yes to an impossible request. 3 months passed. Life on Nova Station 7 returned to routine. Cargo shipments resumed. Neon markets buzzed. Security drills relaxed. Whatever force had come hunting that night never returned. Official reports blamed a false alarm triggered by experimental energy fluctuations. Most residents forgot the incident within days. But I didn't, because I wasn't entirely the same anymore. Sometimes, when I closed my eyes, I could still sense faint currents beneath reality, like invisible tides moving through the universe. I no longer saw emotional auras or predicted accidents, yet I carried a quiet awareness that the universe was far larger than I had ever imagined. I kept working. I kept living. Yet every night, before sleep, I found myself glancing at the door, half expecting another knock. It never came, until one cycle, long after I'd stopped waiting. I was on the observation deck, watching the red star burn against the void, when a streak of light passed silently across space. Not a ship, not a shuttle, something faster, something alive. A warmth settled in my chest. A familiar whisper brushed my thoughts, gentle as memory. The light remembers. I smiled. She had survived. She had healed. And somewhere beyond galaxies, the Luminari knew humanity existed. Not as prey, not as threat, but as allies. I returned to my quarters that night, lay down on my couch, and finally slept without wondering what might come knocking at my door. Because some requests change your life. And some neighbors are never truly gone.